down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Well, hello, party people. This is your friend. That's right. It's been way too long. I don't know how many podcasts I started with that. I've been trying to get to it, man. I have been working my tail off, and I have not had an opportunity to get on the microphone. Well, today's that opportunity, and I'm going to jump on it and just kind of fill you in on what's going on. I don't know, but there's so much going on. There's so much has changed within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I think that's the last time I did a podcast. And, man, I got a lot of books to discuss. That's coming. Opportunities to chat about. And the thick in the middle of the mire. And I'm trying to rise up. Anyway, so today's podcast is, kind of where have I been? Kind of. I have been working. And I have been working on a restaurant with a superstar friend of mine. And I'm going to get into that, how I got into this franchise, or how did I get into this restaurant. Yes, I know the first thing out of your mouth is all restaurants fail. They do. They do have a long or a reputation, I guess, of lack of success. But hey, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it well, and you might as well do it big and take all the risks possible. So this podcast is kind of just a quick introduction, but man, there's so much details and so much education that I have acquired just from the financing side of things to location, construction. I mean, I could do months of content. I'm not joking. I'm being serious and not over exaggerating. I actually have written probably 70 slides of my process, and then it just got super intense somewhere along the line, and I haven't even gotten to those notes. But let's just get started on, how did this all come about? What are we talking about? Who are you, VanCauwenbergh? So this may be your first episode, and so let me just kind of just quickly get you caught up. I mean, it's been a minute since I've been on the podcast. Anyway, my name is Steven. How you doing? AKA, also known as Savvy Landlord, whatever. I've been grinding it out. I just turned 50 not too long ago. I know I've been on this earth seems like forever. I have been a real estate investor since I was 25, 27. Bought my first crib in 1999. All that's gravy and fun and whatever. And we're going to talk more about that on another episode. But the reality is, who am I, right? I am just a average person in my mind, okay? I may seem a little above average or maybe below average in your world, but I can tell you this one thing that I am is a hustler, Hustler. No, I'm just playing. I'm an entrepreneur. And, in the 80s, entrepreneurs had the worst reputation. They were, take your money, invest and fail, and go take your money, invest and fail, and they never took responsibility. Me personally, we're in 2020, hit 2025. It's about taking responsibility of your own finances, being financially free. And you can do that through businesses, hard work, passive income, IRA, whatever. But the truth inside of me, I think I've always tried to fight this, is I'm an entrepreneur. And that is someone that sees an opportunity, takes the risk, and hopefully reaps the rewards. Really quick and cut and dry. It is a lot more elaborate than that. I know for a while there, it was a sexy terminology. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Right. And I've learned, and this is kind of why I have been in the dark, someone I thought was an entrepreneur and I got stung. And so it's okay. And maybe that will come out some other time. If you do follow me, you may have seen a few auctions, a few liquidations. That's because of some confusion between a true entrepreneur and an operator. And I've mentioned that several times in the podcast before. So right now we're in October 2024. Where effing have you been, VanCauwenbergh? And I'm telling you, I've been transitioning, growing, crying, dying, rising, failing, succeeding, failing, moving forward, backwards, upside down, slapped in the face, lawsuits, whatever you want to think about. I have adored that mother, and I'm still alive, and it's rare in my world. But so where are you right now? Like, what are you working on? Like, that's the question. Well, I've been working on this amazing concept called Cheba Hut Toasted Subs. It is a franchise that was originally came out of Phoenix 25 years ago from an amazing gentleman named Scott, and who created this thing, and 25 years later, within that parameter, created a franchise, and it's a domination franchise in Colorado and pretty much in a lot of states. And so, well, how did this all come about? Well, let me just dial back a little bit. So, my weird personality is I try to remember where I came from. And I think it's critical where you're from and where you're going, and you're looking back. And I try never remember where I came from. If you know my true story, there was a few times I was homeless. I came from a broken family. I came from the Mick and Meyer. There was uneducated, several years behind in reading in elementary or wherever they start teaching you that jazz. But all that to say, it doesn't matter. It's where you're going, I think, is the ultimate. And so about 10 years ago or so, I met this wonderful person named Rose Taylor. She, at that time, owned an accounting firm by herself, solo operator. A friend of mine referred me to her, and she whipped me into shape, and we became somewhat of friends. And it was a great opportunity to grow. She was just now getting into real estate on her own as an investor, and I was striving as an investor, trying to learn more about accounting, because I've realized now at 50, I realize the critical mass of education in this thing called accounting. And so we built this relationship, and it was a phenomenal relationship, and it was incredible, and it still is to this day. And she started a cannabis accounting firm, and we would meet once a month, once a week, just discussing, that situation, starting up a new business. I was wanting to learn more about accounting, and she would help me, and I would try to help her. And then one day she decided to take that entity on her own. There's a lot more details in there, but long story short, I had the opportunity to be involved in that acquisition, and we became partners in Redbud Advisors accounting firm, which to this day is off the charts incredible. We are the leading cannabis accounting firm in the Southwest. I would almost say national, but it depends on if you want to value a boutique accounting firm versus, a conglomerate, whatever. But anyway, we've been killing it since over 6 years. And during that process, we started another accounting firm called P3 Accounting. And that accounting firm is truly focused on entrepreneurs and real estate investors. And we have had great traction for over 5 years. And that entity, and it's been a fun ride, a blessing, whatever you want to call it, a joy to hire people, to learn, grow, help other investors succeed, dominate financials, and go to the next level in their world. So we've been having this great success. And as Rose is a entrepreneur as well, a real deal, she brought to me this franchise called Cheba Hut. And I was like, what in the world? And the interesting thing about Cheba Hut, at first, it has kind of this cool countercultural cannabis marijuana themed vibe rolling with this entity. Now, if you know my background, I got into the church later in life, went to a Baptist college, still confused. And so, I grew up in that generation with Reagan. Hey, drugs are bad. Cannabis, you're going to die. You're going to go to hell. Don't do drugs. And so when Rose, the cannabis firm in itself has its own little nuances that I had to overcome, which I realized I was the most uneducated person on the planet, and how powerful cannabis can be to impact people's lives and help them medically. And I don't want to get into that, but the reality is I was so dumb and uneducated. And now even 6-something years later, I'm still uneducated in that industry, but I'm learning so much the power of the plant. But I'm not a pro cannabis, like everybody should smoke weed or anything. But the reality is we shouldn't shoot something down if you don't know the properties of it, what it can do, how it could change people's lives. And, some people abuse it, just like alcohol, just like anything else. But the reality is there is some good in cannabis, and you need to look for that. And there's good in people too, and you need to look for that. And there's good in anything, and you need to look for that. So anyway, she brought me this Cheba Hut Toasted Subs, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. And which is interesting. I mean, she's a smart individual, and I'm like, let me take a look at it. At first, I was just real like, woo, I don't know. And man, when I started diving in to the franchise and I started doing severe due diligence, and if you can get anything out of this podcast today, you need to do due diligence. I'm talking about in every aspect of your life. I'm talking about if you're dating somebody, you need to do due diligence. If you're going to do a business opportunity with somebody, you need to do due diligence. You need to look them up. You need to Google them. You need to hire something, do a trace on them. I don't know, but that's called due diligence. Kind of get in the scope of what you're going into, who you're working with, and what is the outcome and the expectation. And so she brought this to me, and I just dove right in. And I had some really good friends that came alongside me and said, hey, we're going to assist you with this and help you make the right decision. And sure enough, I visited several stores, also known as shops, around the country. And I was enamored by the food. And you would think, nostalgic, marijuana, cannabis theme. When you walk into a Cheba Hut, it has weed everywhere. It looks like a dispensary in some people's minds. It looks like this isn't going to be just a joke, or it's not even a cool place. It is a cool place, but man, when you taste this food, it will convert you into a raving fan. And it's actually the most interesting culture that I have been fortunate to be a part of, and see people all over the country, hundreds of employees in this culture. And the food is by far off the charts. I think I'm almost up to 10 different shops that I have visited, analyzed, photoed, digressed, whatever. It's been off the charts. And then of course, riding alongside a superstar accountant in her spreadsheets and creating performas, man, I went all in. And I was fortunate to be a part of this endeavor. And I was like, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's bring Cheba Hut to Oklahoma City. And that was almost a year and a half ago, maybe even longer. We're getting on to 2 years here. And for over a year, we've been looking for a location, raising funds, orchestrating our other business, trying to get that buttoned up so we can be able to launch this business. And it's been a phenomenal ride. And we are down to the wire, man. I'm telling you, we're opening in less than 30 days. And it has been an opportunity that I cannot wait to share with Oklahoma City. When you dine in this location, or you sit at the bar and really get to meet someone new in your life, you'll have an experience that you'll never forget. And that's what I found just this far, almost 2 years, year and a half behind the scenes, digging into Cheba, going to these events, going to different shops, connecting with the staff, with the corporate office, and just understanding the culture, and I realized how much I've missed in my life, where you can just express who you are and have great food and just experience life in a different aspect than what society tells you. I'm telling you, this is countercultural. It's off the charts. After I reviewed the financials diligently, and then talked to several shop owners, which is back to the due diligence, and we got some really great feedback, some authenticity. Like, yeah, it's not easy. A lot of, some failure in there, shops closing, shops going through some transitioning, but it has been an incredible opportunity. And when I go back and think about it, I was so full of pride. Why would you own a franchise? Why am I giving a percentage to? And I realized, man, the minute that we started construction, and this is a couple months ago, the franchise fee was worth it to me. Just the education that I've learned to take something from zero and turn a almost several $1 million project into success has been incredible. And so the franchise model, again, I'm such a hypocrite. It has been a wonderful experience. Now, I have checked out other franchises, and I have checked out other franchise owners, and I've heard the grumblings, the drama, the non-support. But man, I'm telling you, on this side, and I think the future, that there's some really good owners of large franchises that truly, genuinely assist you as a franchisee to be successful. And it's a win-win opportunity. And so maybe one day I'll own one. I don't know. But right now I'm in the thick of it, and I wanted to touch base and let you know that you're invited to come in November. And if you have any questions, and maybe we can get Rose on here, we can talk more about the details and how we acquired financing, how we went through hell and high water to find this location, and how hell and high water to negotiate a lease that was in a 6-month process of just getting to that. And then we get to the end of the road and it blows up in our face. It's the wrong square footage, and on and on. And that just seems like every turn that we turn, if it was the finances, it blows up in our face. It's been an incredible ride. And I will be sharing all these things with you shortly. This is just kind of a primer, kind of get the ball rolling. Again, you can always reach out to me. I would love to, if you have a specific question that you need, I don't know, maybe I'm leaving something out, but this is off the cuff. I'm getting back into this slowly. Hopefully I can deliver more content for you so you can grow your business, make those decisions. If you have any questions, you can go to savvyinvestors.com and or savvypodcast.com. Same thing. They're going to go to the same place. You can hit a button and submit a question, and I'll get that on there, something that you want to know. Anyway, for now, let's get back to it. I hope that in some form or fashion, or something that I said to you, number one is do your due diligence. Okay. Number two, find your why behind why you're doing things. And I'll get into that on another episode. And then, ultimately review someone's financials and not just what they give you, create your own. And here's one key differentiator that I really decided on Cheba. And my philosophy as a human is I like forever cash flow, forever life, legacy, these words, this arbitrage, residual. These are forever words that continue to roll in my heart and when I make investment decisions in general. Okay. Now I know this is real far-fetched. And somebody may get this, and some people are like, what in the world are you talking about? But let me tell you something. One of my final key differentiators on the decision that I made for Cheba Hut was marijuana themed is never going to die. Sub sandwiches come and go. Subway, I'm amazed that they're hanging on. Burger shops have come and go. Pizza shops are a dime a dozen. In my neighborhood alone, I've counted almost 10. I mean, it's like 8 or 10 pizza shops within a mile. I mean, for sure there's 10. And they come and go. The hottest thing. But marijuana is a plant on this earth that is probably not going to ever leave. And I think the concept of marijuana will never leave. And that's why I made that decision. So when you're out there making decisions of purchasing properties or assets or working with someone, you can set boundaries, you can set terms, okay? Those are all good, and you should have those in your operating agreement. But is this a forever decision? Is this something that's going to change your life forever, or is this a temporary situation? These are, in my world, I've committed to this. It's a forever thought in my mind. Anyway, hopefully that'll get you going today. Get back to it. I appreciate you getting this far. Again, go to savvypodcast.com and let's connect. Go out there and buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.